November 14th, 2021. Was in New York City. New York City says it has some unity project and all in New York City. They had a television spot this morning. I don't know what that means. I have not heard anything in person about it, only through television on the machine, on like a quantum mirror. I have not heard by in person. Now, yesterday, via quantum mirror state, where it made a statement to myself sitting in New York City, but not knowing the source, whatever. There's the source would be something called NTD News. Now, I've heard TD referred to as Toronto Dominion. Only time I've ever heard of TD. But I don't know NTD. It is unclear for me because I've seen the program before. I thought it was one thing, then all of a sudden the station changes into something completely different, and it's more not targeted, but more geared towards presenting something else, which again, I'm not clear how the humans are interacting with one another. It's more of that wild by nature. They have some rhythm and some computative way of working. I'm blind I'm uniquely blinded and uniquely deaf in this unity flag in New York, where there's stuff going on around me. They don't seem to be bringing me into the fold and explaining things to me from multiple angles. They seem to just ignore me completely, like I'm irrelevant. And not irreverent, but irrelevant. And I don't know how or why that is. I don't know how to protect myself from this set of circumstances and this computative whatever that they're doing in their being multi-United Nations trying to avoid some form of conflict or war. But it seems like it goes on around me all the time before some settlement agreement that I wasn't a part of, and then it forcibly, and in the same context, I'm panicking safely in a panic room because my breeding schedule was stolen. Since they issued the first acknowledgement as a Y2K that there was a problem in astrological and zodiac and cosmological programming, timing, and safety. And then I've just been left, silenced until I finally, whatever. They're getting more dangerous and worse, falsely imprisoning me, falsely impregnating me, falsely shooting me with different shots, different needles, different biologically engineered products. This is unacceptable maintenance and landlord-tenant behavior. And this has been going on for a long time, and I don't see any reprieve, just so we're clear. When I speak from my one person. I belong to something called, we'll just go with the last time I saw him, when the system broke, right around when Trump was elected, after the system broke the last time. It was a really big fight and some Circus Carnival in New York City, in my quantum state, through the quantum mirrors. It was a big fight between Hillary and Trump in a politically correct ladylike and gentlemanlike circus of upper echelon. I have no idea what the topics were because nobody explains it while I'm being held captive here. Then it felt like it was a competition between me and Tia Freo, and then Romer got involved, and then Lou got involved, and I have no idea what that's about, because it's like they all keep everything secret, and then and I'm getting punished and persecuted and hurt, and I'm the fucking victim. The first victim, and continuously the victim throughout all of them doing whatever it is that they do in secret and movement. So now yesterday, okay, so at moon time, MOON, when there's a lunar, LUNAR, moon, MOON, on NTD News, they showed a man. Again, I didn't catch it on video, so I can't reference it, and it's so far in the distance of memory that I want to make sure I make this very correct for this one mention. They said that this gentleman, I believe, this city was something Hong Kong, HONGKONG. They had some city worker strike in their city with yellow medallion taxi persons who filled the city streets. They showed a straightaway and then an intersection fed in, and they had gotten out. They showed from like a helicopter, like an aerial view, like if you sat on the moon and you looked down at Hong Kong to check on the children and make sure everything was okay, or film it in order to give it to whoever is in charge of traffic control. They were outside of the taxis making some statement in some city strike. I don't know anything surrounding it. It was just a visual oddity that I saw that they mentioned. I didn't mention it yesterday. I didn't feel it. I wasn't sure if it was something that was. I wanted to wait. Today I saw the birds on the stone building. Yesterday, same time at the moon time, when I saw this Hong Kong message, was when I saw I had that big storm clouds. There was big rain yesterday. I videotaped. Then the lunar went to solar, SOLAR, to the sun. And then today I saw the birds are resting now, not on the wire above the train station, but they're on a stone building, and they're really not flying, which worries me in nature, is not performing their natural function. And I feel kind of like that bird. It is hard. If they're having trouble flying, I'm having trouble moving within the same habitat or area. But today, as I was walking, after I made that first video, it scared the heck out of me, but I am thinking it's an important message. There was, I think, 3 NYPD police vehicles. They said highway patrol. I don't know the difference. I know that they sit on the highway, but I don't know their nuances. And they had motorcycle, almost like a something, brigade, I don't know the correct word for it, motorcade, almost like that, but it was just NYPD. There was no black Chevrolets or Ford vehicles. There's nothing like that. It was just the NYPD. They went down Bell Boulevard in front of me. I do not know the significance because I do not get briefed before or after. And it's really confusing, the even visual messages within my own Bayside station, because I don't have like a personalized city representative or city council member to explain to me what is going on from like safety or in my messages for help with the weather pattern, which concerns all of the city's residents. And I don't know the demographics or the proper people to address or where they come from that currently live here as residents. I don't know who stays the night. I don't know who drives in, who takes the train. It's very confusing. And I wouldn't want to disrespect them by calling or thinking that they were one thing, but they're something else. So that's really important to know as well. I try to do my best per message based on a lot of different factors. I don't have for computational anything. There's no software, software, or like computer involved. It's just me looking around and noticing my own personal inner state of health or lack thereof, and what's going on in the environment just around me. So it's the interstitial to the interstellar and then interspatial relation. While I am in this almost catatonic state of lack of intelligent community. There are people here, don't get me wrong, I'm sure. There's one person, he saw the motorcade, he had his phone, he went running across my path into the building, into a building. I'm assuming he knew what that message was. I, on the other hand, did not. Star 1978, star 8378. So I'm on the solar side, and there was no official business, like New York City official business, that they put like an ambassador level or those types of things in as they drive around the city for UN necessarily. I don't know if that's helpful or if that sends the wrong message to a specific group. I don't know how and what the codes are. I don't have a fireman or a policeman that I can even ask somebody on my behalf. The first New York City policeman the only one that I knew, was the man who stole my breeding schedule. It makes it difficult. And then I have, it just got progressively worse here. And I feel like it's it's persecution, honestly, of humans persecuting me for something that they're aware of, but it keeps getting progressively worse. Star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza. It's Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxy is broken. And it is Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. And last night they put on Lewis and Linda, their antenna system, their baby boomers, whatever. They put on a movie and they invited me to sit with them. I try to stay away from their recommendations only because I don't know if it's politically motivated by Maori antenna from Interstellar to Interstitial of the wrong programming, or if it's a political message coming through the television. There's so many different possibilities. It is hard for me to cipher and decipher and keep myself safe at this point. Because there's no proper instruction even from my parents. So they put on something called Red Notice, REDNOTICE. It was very confusing. I watched it from an American point of view of satire and comedy, I suppose. And it was almost slapstick. Like there's real potential scary messages, but it's brought in such a manner that it's almost goofy and doofy. The Rock was in it, or I don't know if he goes by ROC or ROCK, but that's one of those 3 to 4 letter problem initials in alphabet because of alphabet soup. For him, he says he's Samoan, I've heard, one of my favorite Girl Scout cookies. but I don't know with what the crossover and what that actually means. Since I don't watch wrestling, but I know he's had a very extensive theatrical career, and usually the theatrical career I thought it was highly political, because they're funded and they've got their own things going on globally. But I don't know that for certain either. But that's kind of why I stay out of the theatrical delights, because they haven't invited me into their artist community, and I don't know if I should be watching it or staying away from it. Like, how do I protect myself? And it's really confusing. I really just want Special Task Force Mark. It's really what I want. I mean, Eric looks like he belongs on the team, so does Mike Hewson with Special Task Force Mark. Let's just put it that way. And that looks like home to me, and that looks like safety. Justin, the worker that I hired for some construction while I was with Tia Frio problem when I first got pregnant, with feeling really sick and out of it, and like a bird that just couldn't move. I was just always sick all the time. He was witness for that. He looks like Heath Ledger. Again, he looks like my tribe. I just don't know. He said he lived up in Buffalo. I don't know how to find any of these people. Really, I don't. And the ones that keep finding me seem to be getting really worse and seem to be on the stolen breeding schedule and perpetually getting worse. Star 1978, Star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza.